Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing my final Q&A for this week, leading up to the second episode of The Walking Dead Season 7, which is Episode 2. It's called The Well. And spoiler warning if you're not caught up for Walking Dead, which would be the premiere for Season 7, of course. Oh man, so really crazy week. I want to thank all you guys for all the questions that you've sent through the channel this week. There's just been so many. It's absolutely crazy. I wanted to do a bit of an extended Q&A today because of the fact that there's just been so many coming through. I may post another video again today later for the episode descriptions for the next few episodes. There's been a whole slew of them released for this half, and I want to give my thoughts on those. And please don't take offense, guys, if I haven't included any of your questions here for the Q&As this week. You can keep sending your questions to me. Don't take offense to it. It's just that there's so many coming through that, we only have time to go through so many, and, it's just what it is. So, first question for this one is from Arya is the best, I think, a Game of Thrones name, which is pretty cool. And here she says, "Hey Trev, do you think Negan will make more than run to Alexandria for supplies, more than one run to Alexandria for supplies this season? Looking forward to seeing the kingdom this week, man. Can't wait for Ezekiel and Shiva the tiger." Yeah, I'm really excited to see Ezekiel and also Shiva as well this week. And don't forget, this week is an extended episode, which is really cool. So we're going to get to see probably quite a bit of time with Carol and Morgan. And I'm thinking a slower episode, which we need it, especially after that crazy premiere. We need a slower episode right now at this point, so for sure. Excited for it too. And yeah, I do think Negan will probably make more than one run for supplies from Alexandria. We should see one probably this episode, or maybe next, episode 2 or 3. I think it's this episode 2 from the promo. And later on this season, I'm sure we'll get to see quite a few more runs and interactions with Negan and the others as well too. Next question is from Joe Stookey. He says, "Hey Trev, it's pretty hard to believe that The Walking Dead is finally back, and also your weekly Walking Dead reviews. Going to be a great year, man. Anyways, I had a question that I'm hoping you can talk about in a Q&A video, dude. After watching the Season 7 premiere and the 2 major deaths, what is your opinion of the Season 6 finale cliffhanger now? Do you still think they should have shown the death at the end of Season 6? Personally, I feel they should have, because they chopped up issue 100 and could have made the Season 6 finale the best episode of the TV series ever. However, that's just my opinion, and I'd love to hear yours. Keep up the great work, and I can't wait for all your videos in Season 7. So thanks, Joe. Thanks for your continued support. You've asked lots of questions all summer and last couple of years, so I love it, man. Thanks. Yeah, so my opinion of the cliffhanger now that we're into the season, we've seen the premiere for Season 7, what do I think about the cliffhanger now? And you guys can write your comments below. How do you feel about the cliffhanger now? Personally, I can kind of understand why they decided to do it stylistically as well as business-wise. Right away, I was one of the first people to say, as soon as we found out that it was going to be a cliffhanger, even before the finale aired, and then right after it, and Kirkman kind of came out and sort of rebutted what I had said, which is that that business-wise, it makes perfect sense to do like a cliffhanger and then have the death the next season, because then you have everybody come back and the ratings will be all-time highs or close to it. And that was what happened. So business-wise, it makes perfect sense to do it. He said they weren't doing it because they were trying to game the audience. He said that they did it because they were trying to kind of push Negan's appearance into the season to make it a big finale, but then at the same time they didn't have enough time to cover all of that. So I can understand, and we did hear about kind of some of the details behind the scenes, like JDM had only a certain amount of time, found out he had the role, had to go there and had to do it right away. So maybe there wasn't enough time, or maybe it just kind of got pushed into the next season. Yeah, I mean, it's no big deal now that we've seen the episode. I think it would have been cool if they could have included maybe the Abraham death at the end of Season 6 in the finale, and then cut it right after the Abraham death. And then this season starting, since it's 2 deaths, have the Glenn death after that. I think that could have been even better, and it could have satisfied fans, right? But then again, they probably wouldn't have got the same results in terms of the ratings because people would have been like not so amped to come back. And I know, like I said, Kirkman said they're not trying to game anybody. And I'm not saying they're trying to game people per se, which means like you offer something that's not value, like kind of scammy, right? You offer something that doesn't have value and expect people to buy it or something. It's kind of like gaming somebody, right? That's not really what I'm saying with this. I'm just saying that, they're being smart with the series and they're doing things that are going to keep the show running and keep the buzz about the show. So, I think it could have been cool if they would have split the deaths up. It would have been even better and people wouldn't have been upset. But, hey, you know what? The Season 7 premiere was awesome. It's all over with now, so who cares? It's no big deal. We can move forward from here. But, yeah, one way or another. But if you look at it, too, they really slowed down the deaths and they really took their time with it in that episode. And as a result, we got a really intense episode. And it was a great episode. So with the Season 7 premiere. So whatever. It all works out. And they have to do what's best for the show, even if they say that, that's not what it's all about. I mean, it's not. But at the same time, you got to weigh these things, right? You got to look at it like, okay, yeah, I get it, but still, you got to weigh what's best for the show too, right? So, and that is best for the show to have big cliffhangers like that. Hopefully they just don't do it too much, which I feel like they haven't done it too much. They've done it enough, though. Next one's from Riot and Respect. He says, what's going on, Trev? Not much, dude. Not much going on. Just, enjoying the hell out of Walking Dead being back. He says, I have a question for your Q&A. How do you feel now about the lack of F-bombs and other words from Negan not being allowed on cable TV? I know it felt kind of awkward at first. In my opinion, if JDM can keep up that performance with the same level of fear and dominance, I can go without them. I thought TV Negan wouldn't be as impactful without the curses, but boy, was I wrong. Keep up the great videos. I'll keep watching them. Thanks, Riot. I appreciate it, brother. And he's got a picture of Negan in his display, which is wicked. Comic book Negan, actually, which is cool. So see, I do pay attention to you guys. Some people, I try. I know a lot of you guys. So people who try to make it seem like I don't. I do pay attention. I do read comments. I do all this stuff. So anyway, thanks, Riot. And yeah, that's a good point because we had the kind of F-bomb version that was released this summer in August. And I gave my thoughts on that. I did sort of a reaction review to that, and it's pretty awesome. I mean, I think it'd probably be even better if he was able to swear. Some people think it doesn't feel right, and I saw that a lot, and that it feels forced or it doesn't feel like appropriate or something. I don't know. I like it better if he can swear, ideally. But you know what? Even if he can't, if they can say stuff like suck my nuts or whatever, and he can make jokes and he can do that. Jeffrey Dean Morgan is incredible, and he showed in episode 1 why he was chosen for the role of Negan. Over anybody. So I had my doubts, but now I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you can see why he was chosen, man. He's awesome. He can do all the different stuff he needs to do for Negan. And Negan is not an easy role. It's probably going to be one of the more difficult roles he's had in his career. But he's killing it so far, I'd say. Killing it, absolutely. Trev rules, another guy's name, and I'm not making it up. It's really his name. He's got Don't Dead open inside for his, the doors from the first. Anyway. Hey, Trev, in episode 2, are you excited to meet Shiva? Also, Glenn and Abraham aren't really dead. Their spirit lives on. Yeah, I understand what you mean, and they did kind of talk about that in Talking Dead and that their effect on the show and everything. You can watch the older episodes as well, too. And yeah, that's very true that their imprint is all throughout the show. And where the group is at right now. Am I excited to meet Shiva? Yeah, I'm really excited to see it. And also from the pictures, she looks great. The tiger looks really good. I was a little bit worried after the trailer because I was like, ooh, is the CG going to look bad? But it actually looks really good, and I think Shiva looks really cool. So Shiva versus Negan, who would win? I don't know. You guys can write your comments below. Negan with the bat, Shiva without anything. I think Shiva would probably take it. I mean, tigers are... even with guns, sometimes tigers still and lions still are able to get people. They're so fast and they can pounce and everything, and they're so powerful. Next one's from Afmil. He says, Q&A, Trev, do you feel that the double death was needed after making us wait for so long, or was it overkill? Thanks, man. So was it overkill? I don't think it was overkill. At least they didn't opt for somebody like Aaron. There was a dummy that was shown once that maybe looked a bit like Aaron, and people thought maybe he would be the one. I showed it in the channel in a video I did, second half of season 6. But, I'm pretty glad with what they did. I didn't think it was overkill. I felt like it was justified. If you just do the Glenn death, then it's like, okay, well, we knew that was going to happen from the comics, and it's kind of lackluster. But if you do both together, it's pretty big. And, in terms of like a character death episode, it's one of the biggest ever for sure. So I do think it was needed after a cliffhanger like that and a long wait like that. And I thought it lived up to expectations, so I thought it was really, really good. And next one is from Diedrich from the Netherlands. He says, hey, Trev, do you think Glenn's death is the biggest one the series has ever had? He is the first one to die since Andrea, who was from season 1. Thanks, man. So I did a video last night, and this was you kind of inspired it, Diedrich. I apologize for not putting your name in the video, but I did a emotionally impactful death so far. It's like the saddest death we've seen in the whole series so far, and I go through kind of all the different, deaths, or a lot of the big ones, because there's so many now in the series. Like, that's one thing when I was making that video, I was looking at it, and I was like, man, there's a lot of death in The Walking Dead. Like, some people say, oh, well, they don't kill off, the major characters anymore or whatever. When I was looking at it, I was like, no, they kill off a lot of characters in Walking Dead. They kill off Lori, they kill off Shane, they kill off Andrea, they kill off Lizzie, Mika, Dale. They kill off Tyrese, a lot of lead characters. Sure, maybe you don't see Rick get killed off, but if you want a series like that, you can go watch Game of Thrones, and that's kind of what Game of Thrones is. So you can get a different feel from that. A different world, yeah. But I think they've done a great job with Walking Dead, and it's still going to have a great story, even though there's lots of major deaths. So check out the video yesterday, guys. It's in the channel. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on that, if you missed it, most impactful death so far. Connor L999 says, hey, Trav, greetings from the UK. Love your channel. I have a Q&A question. I'd like to hear your thoughts on, do you think that Negan may iron Daryl's face in the upcoming episodes to make him more like Dwight in the comics? I personally think it would be an interesting move, and I'd like to know what you think. That would be really cool. Plus, also, if Daryl doesn't get it, if he doesn't understand that he's going to have to listen to Negan and do what Negan says and be obedient and submissive, Negan will punish him. Negan's going to torture him. He's going to probably make him do things he doesn't want to do, make him fight for his life. And if Daryl doesn't change in that way, it could be really bad for him. He could be punished and burnt or whatever, hurt or whatever happens to him. So it's Negan's an intense character, man, and I love to see him in the series and how he affects others, because his reach is so broad and it's so drastic. And the next one's a really cool question. It's from Team Kang, and he says, hey, Trev, Q&A, who do you fear more, Ramsay Bolton from Game of Thrones or Negan from The Walking Dead? And, since this is going on long, we have a ton more questions. Actually, what I think I'll do with this video is I'm going to break it in half, and I'm going to post a second one right now. So after you guys are done watching this, the other one should be posted, so you can check it out. I'll put an annotation here for a link, and you guys can check out part 2 of this last Q&A. We'll start with that question. We'll lead with the Ramsay versus Negan better villain question, because that's a doozy. That's a good one.